It's an honor to see you here.
Hello there, and welcome back to Star Wars Shadow of the Republic, Episode 7. First and foremost, while I have your attention, if you check the description of the channel homepage, not the description of this video, the description of the channel homepage, you will find a link to the new Discord server. I put that together now that we're at about 400 or so subscribers. If anybody wanted to hop in and chat. Um, so I thought I'd advertise that here. Where only really the people that are following this series fairly closely are going to hear it. Now, as you can see, what I'm doing right now is purchasing blueprints for the improvised wharf from the Hutts. That is going to let me build, I believe it is 4 small ships at a time. So think your snub-fighters, like X-Wings, Y-Wings, Vulture droids, etc. I don't
Good luck out
have
there.
many, if any, blueprints for those quite yet, but we're going to take care of that later on in this episode. First and foremost, though, what we're going to do
Hello there.
is place down our wharf. I think I've hinted at this in prior videos, but where I'm choosing to put this down is Uyter. It is a pirate sector between the Hutts and the Mandalorians. It's a sector that I have to travel through quite a lot to go take on the Empire. And because it links those two areas, I thought this would be a fantastic place to go ahead and put down my wharf, because I can take resources from both factions, and also the ships that I build there can reinforce my fleets, whether they're in Hutt space or Mandalorian space. There is one problem, and I think I've gone over this a little bit as well in prior videos, is that the sector of Kashyyyk is in between Uyter and the Hutts, and it is controlled by NRL, which again is a hostile Imperial faction for the sake of this series. So, I am throwing together the blueprints for this station now, where we can build our snub-fighters, our bombers, etc. In the future, save ourselves a lot of money, because just I think a squadron of hyena bombers, which are the cheapest bomber in the game, cost something along the lines of 7.5 million credits. So it's much, much cheaper to build those yourself. Not to mention, you don't have to worry as much about retreating all the way to ICG space to restock on snub fighters, or waiting for the droid bombers and fighters to fly all the way across half the galaxy map to your ship. So this is a major logistic step. I'm kind of going to think about this as a not quite a forward operating base, but on the other hand, it kind of is a staging area, somewhere that I can gather the resources from my empire and throw them together to reinforce my Star Destroyers. This does take a little while, but I do want to show off the blueprint I'm putting together. It's nothing too fancy, just some
Hello there.
storage, container storage for the wares, and docking, and some defense modules are going to go on this, as well as a sector scanner. One thing I'm going to need to add to this blueprint later, but can't quite yet, is a habitat module to put pilots on any of the ships that I build that need them. Um, as previously discussed, I'm going to lean towards droid snub-fighters, but it is going to be an option to have some manned squadrons later, if only because the Y-Wings especially are much, much better bombers than the Hyena bombers. And so once I have enough credits to go ahead and purchase those blueprints and can support the more expensive snub fighters, I'm probably going to make the switch for at least one of my squadrons. That way I can get some higher impact and also larger magazined bombers. But for now, seeing as how the only hab module I have is the very large Imperial trade habitat, um, and it's just not really going to fit on this blueprint. And it would look ridiculous if I did. I've left it off.
Hello.
So I'm going to go ahead and assign a Mandalorian builder to this. For the main reason that because this is adjacent to New Republic space, the Mandalorians are hostile to that faction, might provide a little bit of a distraction, some covering fire for the station while it's being built.
Hello there.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is grab some of the blueprints for the snub-fighters that I plan to build, and the weapon systems, shields, etc. that they need to have installed.
It's an honor to see you here.
And these are coming from the Independent Commerce Guild. Because like I said, they have all of the droid fighters, and those are by far the cheapest ones to build. It's reflected in their purchasing price of, I think, basic Vulture droid is only something like 200,000 credits. But if you check the actual blueprint requirements, it's only durasteel plates and some energy cells, I think. It's really very, very cheap. And so that is exactly what we need when we're planning to just throw fighters out as a distraction, protection, a air patrol for our carriers. Oh, and I did go ahead and pick up a habitat for the wharf.
Good luck out there.
What I'm doing now is checking the modules that can be equipped at their wharf to see which ones I need to purchase the blueprints for to be able to build them myself.
It's an honor to see you here.
As you can probably tell, I have spent tens of millions of credits on this project already, but with how high the attrition rates are for small class ships in combat, it's well worth it, especially when you consider that I can sell ships to the AI factions.
Good luck out there.
ship will be undocking soon.
Oh, I am also assigning the Negotiator and the Defiance to defend the station while it's being constructed. As you can see, the NRL are already attacking it. And partially constructed stations are very vulnerable. And I would hate to lose all of that work putting it together, and all the credits that I've assigned and the resources and everything. Mainly, it would just be a pain in the neck, and I would much rather assign my capital ships to defend the station in the meantime. And you can see there the Vulture droids going after their fighters. Now, I had started to construct that there is a defense station that I had started to construct to try to blockade off the sector from Kashyyyk, and it's already under attack, and I basically just placed that down. They are relentlessly attacking this sector. So one of my near future goals is going to be to wipe out the Kashyyyk sector as well as Umbara, which I believe is the one behind it. That way I can gate camp in Kashyyyk to keep the enemies away. It'll also open up navigation between Hutt space and Mandalorian space without having to take a very long detour through corporate sector authority space.
Damage is getting serious. Acknowledged.
Oh, I had intended to edit that out. Oh well.
Wing BTA and R2.
So as you can see here, there's a couple of Pelta 2s, as well as a swarm of fighters and some smaller gunships invading the sector. And I'm just going to show off the Defiance and the Negotiator fighting them off as we try to construct this wharf. As soon as we actually get it constructed, and those defense modules especially built, they should be able to hold off. Maybe not an attack this large, but, you know, most of the smaller attacks, and definitely survive long enough for any of my fleets to come in to reinforce them. But, until then, they are very vulnerable. So we're taking this on proactively here at the gate.
Wing BTA and R2.
What do you want?
TR9DA. Shield generator. TR9DA. Danger. Incoming missile. Delta 2 class frigate. Incoming missile. Danger. Incoming missile.
You're really going to get it now.
Incoming missile. Danger. Incoming missile. Danger. Incoming missile. Danger. Incoming missile.
I'm not talking.
Incoming missile. Danger. TR-90A.
You're really going to get it now.
So long as they continue to send peltas and dreadnoughts after us instead of their MC-40s, MC-80s, we should be fine. With the negotiator, it can handle a great deal. Especially of these smaller... I believe the pelta is an L. The Dornian gunships and the CR-90s are both M's, I think. And obviously all of those fighters and bombers are S-size ships. And we've got those in the bag with just, just the negotiator and her complement of droid fighters can handle those pretty much all day.
Okay then.
Oops, sorry about that.
I want to go home.
Although, if you do watch the bottom left ticker there, you will see that what I was talking about earlier with the attrition rates of droid fighters are relatively high. Of course, we are doing far more damage to them than they're doing to us, and frankly, so people will point out that the other fighter types are going to be a lot stronger and less likely to be lost. And I'm going to point out that, credit for credit, the droid fighters are just overwhelmingly superior. One X-Wing costs a little over 1 million credits, whereas you can get 4 or 5 Vulture droids for that same price. And while yes, there can't be an argument for elite-level, high-quality fighters, in the hands of the NPCs is not it. It's just not. 4 Vulture droids will kill an X-Wing 100% of the time if they are both controlled by the NPCs. It's just not worth it to pay the premium in credits or resources to build the higher quality fighters when they don't have significantly different attrition rates. Or at least not to the same degree in which the price difference more than makes up for it. If I were to be min-maxing specifically for the complement space, the docks on the Negotiator or any of my other ships, I might consider some of the higher quality fighters. But especially, this is early mid-game level, if you ask me, where, yes, I have quite a few credits and some capital ships, but I'm not making enough money to be constantly attriting million-plus credit fighters. It's just a much better decision, in my opinion, to use the droid fighters at this stage of the game. It's not just about pound-for-pound power, either. Like I kind of implied there, saying that 4 Vulture droids will kill an X-Wing. Because that's true. But also, as we saw in the last episode, if I need to, I can send a Vulture droid across the sector into hostile space to deploy a satellite. And I don't really care if the Vulture droid comes back. 200,000 credits is not a lot of credits. Whereas if we start getting into million-plus credit fighters, it makes a big difference. And, frankly, I would rather have the disposable Vulture droids to fling out to defend my capital ships, to scout out hostile areas. And, like I said, I would take 4 Vulture droids over 1 X-Wing any day of the week in a fight.
Stop, please!
X-Wing T-65B.
Something you will also notice is that the Mandalorians are already here helping out in this fight, even though I don't on this sector yet. I don't believe. You can still see the gray on the borders. But because we are at positive relations now, and also because they do like to travel through this sector themselves, they are coming in to reinforce. And it is actually taking off quite a lot of the heat for these fighters, so I'm grateful for it. Anytime my lone capital ship can join a smaller force of Mandalorian or Hutt, etc. S&M ships, I'm going to take it, because they are going to be much more effective at taking on hostile fighters than I will be with my, you know, heavy naval guns.
Oh no! I'm not talking.
Now, this that I'm showing now is what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to be cleaning out the Kashyyyk sector. I'm showing this for 2 reasons. A, I don't want to just make a bunch of off-screen progress wiping out a sector. And just be like, yeah, guys, I totally did this completely legit. And I have you trust me on that. B, it's going to have some retaliation, I believe. That is a mechanic in this, is they're going to send some ships to reinforce this, potentially even to follow me into my own space. So, in case some consequences show up later, I thought I would show this off now.
Ore refinery.
I'm not really of the opinion that taking on this ore refinery is going to be a, you know, faction-crippling move at this stage of the game. You know, this is just to refine base resources. But it's not going to be helping them, and like I said, I need the sector cleared out anyway.
You'll wish you hadn't done that. That's just not good enough.
Danger.
Want some more?
Danger.
Why are you shooting me?
Incoming missile.
Probably would have been wise for me to have kept the fighters docked while taking on a station.
Burning gunship.
But, you know, like I said, fortunately they're very cheap. So it doesn't matter that I make dumb mistakes like this occasionally.
Or
And send my
refinery.
fighters out to die against
Requesting permission to dock.
point defense equipped
Docking permission.
I
gunships
just
and
want this to be over.
stations.
Go away.
I'll pay dearly for that, pilot.
You're just asking for it.
Get your button and goodbye. Terrifying.
Since you seem so keen, let's fight. Shields hit.
We were hit.
I'll get you for that. I don't want to be.
Might as well just eject.
Taking some serious damage. You really didn't want to do that. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you.
Autopilot engaged.
So at the moment, I am flying over to take on another one of these stations in Kashyyyk. I figured with how long it took to mop up after destroying that station, my shields were more or less... Oop, didn't mean to bump into the mic there. My shields were more or less regenerated. I should be able to handle it. But as you can see, I'm about to get very distracted from that.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission granted.
And that's the distraction. A
Autopilot.
NRL patrol
Dreadnought class
dreadnought
cruiser.
that doesn't seem to have any other capital ships flying an escort. as you might remember from when we took on that pirate dreadnought and it suicided its way into the station, these are one of my favorite ships. So, I'm targeting it now. It's like a duck in the park. They're free. You can take them home with you.
Your space debris.
Jump beacon, Brandon.
And look at that, it has not managed to leave the gate yet.
Jump completed, Brandon.
Not quite alone, it does have a fighter wing.
Incoming missile.
But for a capital ship, it is fairly vulnerable, being in hostile space now, I believe. Or at least neutral space. I think this is a Hutt sector. I don't remember how the faction logic there goes, whether or not they're hostile or neutral.
Suck vacuum.
Incoming missile. Danger.
You're really asking for it now.
Incoming missile.
Taking shield damage.
Danger. Incoming missile.
Get spiced.
Incoming missile. Danger.
I think you might regret that.
Incoming missile. Danger.
Since you seem so keen, let's fight. Stop! Stop!
Incoming missile.
What do you want? I won't surrender.
So as you can see, it's currently got about 48 crew. And even if none of them bail, I should be more than capable. 45, 48? I don't know. Like I said before, I can't read these thumbnails. I should be able to take it out fairly easily with the Marines I have on board.
Pod launched. Moving to target. Stay sharp.
Danger.
Protect that ship.
boarding pods are launched, and fairly shortly the ship will become ours. And it's going to be very important for, immediately, what I'm going to be using it for, is the protection detail on the wharf. For reasons that I hope are obvious after having watched just how many ships the NRL sent after the wharf earlier. But afterwards, I do also have some ideas for it coming up in the future, for which it'll be fairly important, because dreadnoughts make, honestly, they're just in general a pretty fantastic ship. They have enough hangar space to be
This is Group
useful,
Leader. Follow that course.
and they're not carriers, so they don't have access to the carrier behaviors. But because they are an expeditionary ship, they can repair
Contact.
fighters,
Making preparations to bring
so carrying their own squadron,
Check that ship.
and, you know, just in general, functioning as pocket carriers, while also being a fairly heavyweight anti-capital ship for their size. I mean, obviously, they're not on the same level as, for example, a Victory-class Star Destroyer,
Contact.
but they are
Making
much cheaper,
preparations.
and
Thanks for your help.
excellent patrol ships. They're also excellent escorts for your larger capital ships,
Acknowledged.
and decent player ships, in fact.
Since you seem
Anywho, I am planning to take this ship, and I hope it'll become obvious what I'm going to be using it for in
Incoming
the next episode.
missile.
I think I'm going to get to that in the next
Danger.
episode. I'm not 100% certain.
taking shield damage.
You're finished.
Incoming missile.
I'll get you for that.
Hey, will you stop firing?
Oh. Oh no.
Incoming missile. Danger.
What do you want? I won't.
Shields are down.
Thank you.
Incoming missile.
Your space debris.
What do you want? I won't.
Incoming missile. Defender corvette.
Looking for a fight, are you? Okay then.
Danger. Dreadnought class cruiser.
I won't let you get away with that.
some excuse.
What do you want? I will.
Incoming missile. Danger.
What do you want? I won't. You're really asking for it now.
Incoming missile.
So at this point, I've got my Marines on board the dreadnought. I'm just more or less trying to take down the escort. That way it doesn't immediately get destroyed like that acclimator in the last video, whichever one that was.
Incoming missile.
And
What do you want? I
also so that the negotiator here can get away. I'm not in any real danger. I mean, obviously if I just let the dreadnought there keep punching at me, it'll eventually
I can't take much
be able
more
to
of it.
take on the negotiator and destroy it. But of course, if I get the health down too far, I'll just open fire on the negotiator. It's nearly dead. Not on the negotiator, on the dreadnought. It's nearly dead. So I'm not in any real danger here, but I am in danger of losing some components and being in general fairly annoyed by these escorts harassing me.
Incoming missile.
I believe I have a fairly easy time getting away.
Might as well just eject.
Can't remember off the top of my head,
Shields are down.
but I had an easy enough time getting away that fairly soon I call this clip,
Danger.
and this is the last one of the video.
What do you want? I won't.
This is a pretty good highlight of the danger that snub-fighter harassments can pose, though, because as you can see, I just can't get away from them.
So keen. Let's fight.
And the heavy guns on this ship can't take out fighters that easily. The concussion missile tubes can, so long as I have missiles. But yeah, snub-fighter harassment, not easy to deal with in a large capital ship like this, and it's exactly the Empire's vulnerability as well. It doesn't work quite as well in this mod as it does in the Star Wars lore,
Oh no.
but it is still a problem.
Big mistake. Very big mistake.
I need an update.
Just want to remind everybody
What do you
one
want?
last
I
time
won't-
to go ahead and check for the Discord channel server in the channel description. I'd love to see some of you guys there. You can ask me any questions you feel like, and maybe your questions will pop up in a later video where I can answer any that are asked frequently or seem important.
My friend, was not a good idea.
You might also get some input into future videos, and in general, I just wouldn't mind hanging out with some of the guys that are interested in X4 and Star Wars Interworlds in particular.
Thanks for your help.
But we're going to call it here, and hope you've enjoyed watching, and I am very much looking forward to the next episode where we're finally going to take on one of the two major operations I've had planned from the beginning. Hope to see you then.